Welcome to the Catalyst for Growth podcast, a place where we talk about everything under the sun regarding the journey of the professional salesperson. Welcome the host of the C4G Sales Success podcast, John Kailunas II. Take it away, big guy. Welcome to the Catalyst for Growth podcast, a place where we talk about everything under the sun regarding the journey of the professional salesperson. Welcome the hosts for the C4G Sales Professional Enrichment podcast, Kevin Verwald and John Kailunas II. Take it away, boys.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is John Kailunas II in the catalystforgrowth.org podcast. So today we've got Kevin Ross with us again. Kevin is one of the founders of Advisor Rescue, along with Tim Stearns. We're excited to have you back in the MMG studios in Tampa, sort of our home base.
Love it. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Love seeing you, Kevin. We live on the opposite sides of the bay.
That's right.
So we're almost directly across from each other.
It's probably quicker if we just had a boat. We could just go straight through as opposed to the
shipping channel. Yeah, you try that first.
Yeah, it can get a little sketchy, but theoretically, it would be quicker.
The way you drink bourbon going across that shipping channel. No.
I'd probably need a boat captain.
Or an Uber.
Or an Uber, yes, for sure.
We're going to talk a little bit about IMOs today, a little bit about Advisor Rescue and your mission and why you created it. Why don't you tell us, why don't we just start there and why it's so important? Because I think a lot of people in our industry have positioned their partners, and when I say partners, they're strategic partners. They're RA, they're broker-dealer, they're IMO. And some of the things that we should look at that created a niche for you and Tim in the marketplace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I started when I got into this side of the business with a small IMO. We grew it to $1 billion, and the owners sold, and then I went and ran another firm down in Florida, and we grew that one as well. And then we got bought up like everybody seems to do, and so I was out of the business for a while, and I just felt like, I had trained and mentored a lot of guys over the years, over the 20 years, and that's my passion, right? And I thought, for the last go round, because I am getting a little older, I want to train the next generation on how to work with financial advisors and how to do it the right way, because so much of the competition, and I saw it from our first owners, what they would mandate, which was sell the annuities and sell this particular one. And the reason they want you to sell this particular one was because the override was more, which is how they made more money. And I don't agree with that. I think that you sell what's right for that particular client. Could be an annuity sell. It may be a life sell. It could be more money going into an AUM than the annuity. And that's fine, because everybody's got a different story and a different goal, a different end goal. And so I train my guys and have done it over the years that, hey, you've got to put the advisor's client first. And it's okay if we don't get all the money, because that's not the right way to do it. Having come from the securities background and understanding that, and working with broker dealers, large broker dealers, and working with RA firms like you, it's important that as a IMO that you've embraced what your partners do, and that security side is important. I don't care if you're 70 something years old; it's still all right to have money in the marketplace. We're solving for maybe an income or a legacy play, right? So that's where that comes in. Or if it's a life insurance play, then that's a whole different story. But we have that access and the ability to do it. And so many times, and so many of the IMOs that I've known and have worked against and know some of it's not in the client's best interest. It's in the IMO's best interest. And I'm 100% against that. And that's why we started it. And so Tim, who's an actual advisor, he and I started this.
CMP, he's in Chicago.
He's in Chicagoland, and he's had his practice. And, I joked with him today. I said, he was asking me a question. I said, well, back in the day when you were a little guy and I couldn't talk to you because you were too small and talk to the big ones. And he kind of laughed. He goes, you always put me in my place. But the thing is that, he the way he's transformed his practice is important. And I said to him, I'm like, this is gold, because so many advisors that I've talked to over the 20 plus years is, how do I grow my practice? What's the best way to do it? And that's one of the things I'm excited about that you guys have really spent a lot of time and money on is the marketing piece on how to market these advisors. And I just talked with a guy that was a former Peru guy. LPL bought him out and said, hey, you know what? Let's take a step back a minute and not go with the name brand because you're kind of handcuffed. Let's go with a firm that can really understand your practice and build your brand, not the piece of the rock brand, build your brand. And that's, a recommendation that, I forwarded over to you.
You gave Don Carlson. I appreciate that. Catalyst for Growth is created by Kevin Burwell and myself. Kevin was the national sales director for Pacific Life for many years. And, I built a firm, we're over 2.5 billion on the RA side, the broker dealers over $1 billion. I still write personal business. So, we've been very blessed and we've been able to, that's why we created this, is to help people with best practices, advisors, teach them to go to the next level, teach them to go to the next step. I have all this battle wounds and scars and arrows from building the firm. And I've also had great successes, but there's something to be taught there and something to be learned. And most people don't take the time and lift people up. And I know Tim is big about that and you're big about that. I think that's real important. What do you think the future of the industry is going to be?
Well,
it's changing so dramatically.
So changed. I was talking, I hired a new wholesaler, had some life experience, but I was sharing with him actually earlier this week about our marketplace and how it's different from what it used to be. I mean, prior to COVID, I don't know of any advisor that ever did a Zoom call and did virtual appointments. I can't tell you how many advisors are, hey, do you do virtual appointments? Well, we have access to it. I can also tell you what the fail rate is, or you could do a process, right? Some don't want to do the process, and okay, that's okay. I mean, you don't have to do our deal, but if you're trying to grow your practice, then we've really got a good roadmap for you to do that.
So, I mean, it used to be that let's just look at it from the standpoint. You came from a large wirehouse back in the day, and it was always information was key. Well, now information is the cheapest thing you can get.
Exactly.
And it's commoditized. Everybody has the same information. It might not be the exact same day, but you can buy research from any one of these firms. And it used to be if you worked for those firms, you got the research ahead of people.
That's right.
That was a competitive advantage. Now there's no advantage, right? And so the IMOs of old used to send out like a rate sheet of all the companies and all of that, and what the surrender rate and all of that. I guess some still do.
I just got one in the mail the other day. My wife's like, what is this? I'm like,
it blows me away because they think that's a value proposition. Yeah. An Excel spreadsheet to me is not a value proposition. So when you look at how information has changed the game, the ease of accessing information, how the advisor's expectations are rising, and the margins are shrinking for IMOs, broker dealers, and RAs. Where do you think we're going to be? We've got the custodians that want to get rid of the advisors and have the clients go direct. Right. So what do you think this is all going to wash out?
Well,
I know, lifespan, which is about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say it may not be that long.
I don't want to go 10 years out because I don't think you're going to make it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get off the bourbon and the cigars if I want to extend that. But that's a great question, because what I've seen over the years, and the advisor too on our space is, back when I got into this in 2000, this space, the commission on an indexed annuity was 9%. And now it's 6.5%, 7%. And we've had a rate increase, right? But it didn't equate to the advisors making more money. The products got a lot more sexy and better for the client, but the spreads didn't come back to the IMO either. It's all getting shrunk, and it's, I think, happening on your side. And so margins are going to continue to tighten. I see a lot of guys that have had a practice that don't want to do it anymore. It's kind of, maybe taking the Nick Saban, but I don't know of any of them that were the GOAT like he is, but in our business, but they just gave it away. Like it got to be where it was too much involved. And with, when they brought in suitability, you would have thought that, which is a great thing for protection of the advisor, protection of the client. You would have thought that you stole everybody's firstborn. It was going to end the industry, and it didn't.
The complaints about the additional paperwork.
Yeah.
Like you and I made the additional paperwork.
Exactly.
I always love that. It's like, well, you're killing me. It's like, no, the federal government is killing you.
100%.
They want this.
Yeah.
Your state wants this. I don't want this. And not for the end client. I want the client to be protected. The advisor could do that by just doing the right thing.
That's right.
We don't need another 30 pages of paperwork.
And that's why we have the extra 30s, because there were so many clients, especially in the early 2000s, that were not stating everything, full disclosure to the client. They were just selling the sizzle and not the good, the bad, the ugly. And that kind of has taken us to where we are now. I remember in the beginning, a statement of understanding disclosure form was half a page and the app was 1 page. And now we're talking, depending on the company, 60, 70 pages.
When I first got licensed in 88, I had a mutual fund application that would fit in my coat pocket. It was MFS. It's the original mutual fund.
Yeah.
The total return. That's what I was taught to sell on by Larry Taun. Larry.
Mm-hmm.
And you could literally fill it out, and it was a sales brochure on one side and the application on the back. Wow. And now, it's ridiculous. Now it's like 47 pages to get a $50 a month.
If you would like to be a guest on the C4G podcast, please contact us at info@catalystforgrowth.org or 813-454-0557. Primetime players only. Bring your A game or don't contact us.
Yeah, commission. Yeah, I joke. It's like you get more paperwork when you're doing an investment, whether it's on an annuity, for example, than buying a house. Yeah. It's crazy.
How do you think an independent agent is going to thrive?
They've got to set themselves apart, and what that means is they actually got to do some more work. They can't just be a product dumper where they're just selling a product and everything fits this. The round peg fits in the square hole. They can't be that way anymore. You've got to do some due diligence. You need to follow a process. So you got to really understand.
Well, that's what we teach people to do, is to create their process and then follow that process. And that service is built in. This is the financial service business, not the financial sales business.
That's right.
And I say that all the time, but I think the people will pay for information, right? Now they don't have to. Yep. What they're going to pay for is service. And we all know, you drive a luxury brand car, so do I. It's a different experience when you pull that car to dealership than we did the cars we had in college,
That's
right?
That's right.
You're willing to pay for that. And it's not a bougie or a over-the-top service. It's just common sense and respect. Mm-hmm. And people need to know they're taken care of and that their absolute goal of retiring and staying off their kid's couch or basement is going to be that they're going to live the rest of their life with dignity, and we can help them with the tools we have. I don't think you can put a price on that.
Peace of mind.
You can put a price on a transaction.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think the more that we get away from transactional services or transactional relationships, the deeper we're going to have, the more we're going to be able to give and pass on. And I think that is an opportunity. It's the old abundance versus scarcity mentality.
That's right.
I think the service is more of the abundance. And where can we take this to help people versus the scarcity, which is transactional. Yeah. It's like, thanks for buying the annuity. I'll never call you again. You'll never see me again. Adios.
That's right. And the client 2-3 years down the road, they don't remember why they bought it, what it does, how it works. And they've never heard from this guy because they probably went to a dinner seminar and felt obligated to do some business with them. And so they did.
How come when I take you to dinner, you don't feel obligated to do business with me?
I'm right here with you right now.
I got to buy you a steak to come here and talk.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something in the fine print here I didn't see.
It's on the very last page.
All right, let's on the other side of the break. I want to really talk about the nuances of your partnership with Stearns, Tim Stearns, and what Tim brings to it. Because I think Stearns is an advantage for your organization because of who he is and how he does things. And I think I want to spend some time digging down on that. And then I want to also talk about the type of advisor that you're looking for and you think you can help. I know you don't want transactional relationships. You want strategic partnerships. And I want to talk about that. So want to thank everybody for listening. We'll be back on the other side of the break with Kevin Ross. You're listening to Catalyst for Growth, the podcast that makes the financial advisor just a little bit better each time they listen, which should be all of our goals. So we'll catch you the other side of the break.
Our ideas and concepts are tested in the trenches and will produce results. You can contact C4G at info@catalystforgrowth.org or call us at 813-454-0557 for a private consultation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Catalyst for Growth. Here's John Kailunas. I'm hosting Kevin Ross today, Kevin from Advisor Rescue. Kevin, we talked about Tim Stearns. What's the advantage of having Tim Stearns as a partner? I guess you wouldn't want Tim as an enemy because he's sort of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, he can be a lot, and you've seen him be a lot before. But
I love Tim, but yeah, what does my wife say? Oh, somebody can be extra.
Yeah,
Tim could be extra,
and I think his wife Jen would say that too about him. But yeah, I love Tim. He's
his wife, phenomenal people.
Yeah.
You're not gonna meet better people, and I think he's very authentic.
Yes, he is. And how we developed a relationship. He was never, when I was wholesale and marketing, he was never one of my guys. But we had a trip, and they brought their kids on this trip. And my wife, Jackie, saw 3 little boys, and she jumped in and was talking to them. And then, of course, I think Jen might have been a little freaked out, like, who's this crazy lady talking to my 3 little boys?
It's illegal in most states.
It is. Jackie doesn't care. It's a little kid. She's going to be all over. She's got this magic thing, whisperer with the little kids. But so we started talking to him, and I said, I've got 3 boys. And so my 3 boys, my middle son is Tim's oldest son's age, and my youngest is Tim's middle son's age. And then he's got a younger one that's a second year of college, and then I've got an older one that's been out in the workforce for a few years. So I was able to kind of guide him, not about business in the beginning. It was like he'd call and go, man, you wouldn't believe whichever one did whatever. And we had a special name for our middle sons, because there are 2 peas in a pod. But it was, I said, we went through that. Here's what's coming next. And that's kind of how we built this relationship. I was more mentoring him as a father and saying, hey, here, I've been through it. Here's what's coming next. Here's how you do it. And so from a family perspective, he's solid. He goes above and beyond. As a matter of fact, he's a huge Yankees fan. And so last week he took the boys, his 3 sons, to all 3 games in New York. So they got to do that. I just caught up with him today about how it went and everything. And just you could hear the joy in his voice. For
Lifetime of memories.
And it was great for the kids. 2 of his kids are now employed with one of our major insurance carriers. And so they've left the nest, and then he's still got the youngest that's a second year in college. So that piece of it, that's what got us together initially.
I would have just assumed, knowing you 2 yahoos, that it was you were the last 2 at the bar.
Well, that might have been a little bit of it too.
You're closing a hotel bar at a conference. Yeah. But I think Tim, he's a top producer. He really cares about his clients. I think that's really evident. His style at times is unorthodox. He's not what you would pick as the standard CFP. Yeah. But I think that leads to, he's just authentic.
Yeah.
He is who he is. And I think when you're trying to build trust with somebody, you may not like the personality of somebody, you might not like, but you can tell if they're being authentic, you can trust them.
Yep.
And that's the biggest hurdle that financial advisors have, is building that trust. And you build it with Tim immediately because he is very, very transparent. You know who he is. You know what he's doing. You can tell that he's wicked smart. You just get a feeling that he's going to take you through this whole mess of stuff, financial statements and products and services, and he's going to get you to the path. And he's got enough moxie to get you there.
Right.
And I think that builds a lot of trust with people.
Yeah. And there's no pressure. He's going to do what he's talked about with the client. We're going to have a first meeting, a discovery meeting, right? And he walks them through everything that he's looking at, and then what they're going to do for that second meeting and why the second appointment's important. But it's a trust build, and he's not some flashy person that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be like. He's genuine, right? And I wouldn't partner with the guy that's just the flashy guy. I mean, I did it because of the way he is as a family man. First, second, how he does his business. He does it the right way, where he's got the concern of the client, not the concern of his pocketbook, right? And because he does it the right way, because he's put the processes in it, it's been a really good partnership, because I'm able to now talk about those processes and say, hey, look, if you do it this way, we can plug you in, and this is what's going to happen in the end game. And we're going to start small, because not everybody's got the budget, but we're going to grow it, because Tim wasn't always doing $20-30 million of annuity premium and 10-15 of AUM. He just started doing his AUM a few years ago.
Yeah.
His security business was on, doing the teachers and stuff like that, the little small change stuff through his broker dealer. And then he's got it, started doing the RIAs, the CFP, and he does it the right way. He doesn't take the shortcuts. The plans that he puts together, that we train to, that you guys do, that's second to none. And that's a separator between the guy down the street. And he takes premium from the big names, the ones that don't make money when you do, type stuff,
We take them all the time.
Yeah.
We take them all the time.
And it's about being genuine and building trust with the client. And that's what he does naturally, but we are able to train to that as well.
I think true, when Tim talks to an advisor, I've seen him do it without any economic gain. I've seen him do it at conferences where he's just reached out and we're sitting there in a circle, and he'll say, this is what I do, take it or leave it. I mean, he's not being an ass about it, but it's just sort of, this is how I do it. This is how I get around it. And it's legitimate. I mean, he's talking from the heart. He's genuine,
right,
like you said. And I think that's a huge advantage, because as I've mentioned before on this podcast, I don't want to learn how to climb a mountain from a person that's never been on a mountain.
That's right.
Shoot a gun from a guy that's never been on the range. You can all look at a YouTube video, but it's not the same.
That's right.
Sitting down with somebody and having them explain the nuances. And I think Tim can do that really well because of the amount that he cares for people.
Yep.
And he cares about his reputation. He protects it. He's funnier than hell to work with. And it's really what makes you guys special, along with your ability with empathy and compassion to help people, which, you do an outstanding job with people, and to teach them to get to that next level.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and that's the special thing that, so Tim has always been client first. What's in the best interest of the client. And that's what we train to, because if you're doing it the right way and you're following the process, the money comes in. And so it's not like ask for the sell, then it's like every sell's a little bit different, but if you follow the process and understand when the client's ready to pull the trigger, that's the key. But we train to that, because you would think that, and a lot of guys think that they have that naturally, that a lot don't. And I've worked with thousands of advisors over the years, and
it's manufactured. It's forced.
That's right.
It's acting.
It's not genuine. Right. Yeah. And when that person goes, they don't remember it. And we've got competition out there that is, be the CEO of your company, that just drive premium and not know your clients. And Tim knows every one of his clients. And we say that you've got to know your clients. You can grow your business, but if you're the face of your business, you better know who you're working with. Right.
And as a financial advisor and independent in your community, you need to establish that. That's because that's part of your brand, right?
That's right.
Part of your process. So for the listening audience or that's watching us, I have sunglasses on because I had eye surgery. And I remind you.
Oh, I thought it was just because you're trying to be cool, look cool.
No, I remember.
It wasn't working.
I remember what my nephew said. We were we were at a family wedding, and there's a guy wearing sunglasses inside the hotel bar. And he comes up to me and he's like, Uncle John, he goes, there's two types of people that wear sunglasses indoors. I go, what? He goes, blind people and douchebags. so I'm not blind, and hopefully I'm not a douchebag. But there's a little shout out to my nephew who gave me that. We were in the Detroit hotel, the Renaissance Center. So we were there for a wedding. So that was pretty funny that he had. But how does somebody go about working with you? I mean, I know we refer people to you, and because our systems work together, our people work together. We have a thing called Pro Panel Assist where we help design the case with the marketer from your team, and then so we come up with solutions. We teach them talking points and all of that. How do people go about establishing a relationship with you, or to be quite honest, interview you to see if it's a right fit for them? How do they go about doing that? So
you can come to our website, land on the landing page, it's advisorrescue.net, or you can send us an email. My email's kross@advisorrescue.net, or call us at 813-736-1940. And look, I talk to a lot of guys, and it's just not the right fit. I'm just looking for the magic bullet leads. And I'm like, look, I've done this for 20-something. There's no magic bullet.
There's a great saying that I've coined. I've got it on C4G sticker, and it says, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding.
I love that. That's so true.
It's a lot better than your magic sauce comment you were making earlier.
That is the magic sauce. That's saying right there.
That's like what is it? A rock or a brain scientist or a brain surgeon or surgeon science, whatever. Not rocket science. If you're looking for an IMO, Kevin will give you his 20 plus years of experience to see if they're a fit for his organization. Our organization doesn't take any overrides. We don't run annuities through the grid. Ours, you just go for the IMO. We have an override arrangement. So it's very annuity friendly if that's your core of your business. We have a lot of advisors. We don't do a ton of annuities. But we have a lot of advisors that use us because of our customer service, and our approach is very similar. Right. We build relationships with our advisors. It's not in this industry when there's going to be problems or where there's going to be headaches or obstacles. It's when, and I want to know who's in my proverbial foxhole to fight those things off. So again, we drop these episodes every Wednesday. This is catalystforgrowth.org. You can go to our website. You can pick up a whole bunch of free handouts and presentations and stuff. We will have Kevin's contact information listed in this episode on that website. Again, catalystforgrowth.org. You can work with us in a multitude of different ways. We have a Studium, which is our monthly training masterclass. You can listen to these podcasts every single week, and we bring talented people like Kevin and Tim. Maybe we can put Tim on here. No, we don't. No. We don't want Tim on here. Tim will take this thing over. We'd be in deep trouble with Tim running the helm here. So we at least we can have some guardrails with you and I working together on this. So
you never know where it's going to go with them.
Kevin, appreciate you as a person. Appreciate you as a friend. Appreciate you as as an ally in the industry. You've been nothing but great to me and my family, and I appreciate you for that. So if you're looking for an IMO, call Advisor Rescue. Kevin's contact information will be listed in this episode. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me, John. I really appreciate you.
Take Kev.
Hey, thank you for your time today. We will have another content-packed session posted next week. Please check our website, catalystforgrowth.org, for our legal disclosures on the bottom of our homepage, if you're into that sort of thing. Hey, thank you for your time today. We will have another content-packed session posted next week. Please check our website, catalystforgrowth.org, for our legal disclosures on the bottom of our homepage, if you're into that sort of thing.